Are you guys able to see my screen?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Thank you for confirming. So today is chapter 13, where Arjuna asked a few questions to Krishna to understand furthermore, and Krishna will explain who is the supreme enjoyer, what is nature, who is the supreme enjoyer, and who is the consciousness. Okay. So Arjuna is asking the first question. Arjuna says, "Oh my dear Krishna, I wish to know about Prakriti, that is nature, Purusha, the enjoyer, and the field, and the knower of the field, and the knowledge and the object of the knowledge. O Supreme Personality of God, the Supreme Personality of God itself. This body, O son of Kunti, is called the field, and the one who knows this body is called the knower of the field." Okay. So in the shloka, we say, "Idam shariram kaunteya kshetram iti abhididyate." So kshetram is the body. Okay. So that's why the word kshetram becomes very important. Okay. So he is asking 6 questions. Can you just see 6 questions in this? One is, I wish to know about the Prakriti. So he wants to know about the nature, the Prakriti. Second one, he wants to know about the Purusha, the enjoyer of it. Who is the enjoyer of the nature? Third one is he wants to know the field and the knower of the field. Fourth one. So what is the field that we are looking at, and who is the knower of this field? And he wants to understand who is knowledge and the object of knowledge. Now Krishna is answering the first question, first part of it, which is Prakriti. He's called, O son of Kunti, this body is called the field. Okay, and the knower of the body is called and who knows the body is called the knower of the field. So he has, I answered 2 questions, sorry. He answered knowledge and the knower of the knowledge. Okay, we have already seen this. We have a body, we have the soul, we have the subtle body, and then we have the gross body, right? What is the subtle body made of? Is the mind, false ego, and intelligence. What is the soul made of? It is Satchitananda, right? And the gross body is 210 rupees, right? We already saw this. It is made up of what? Panchabhuta. Earth, water, fire, air, fire, and ether, right? Knowing the difference between the matter and the spirit. What is spirit? What is the size of our soul? Anybody can have read of it or thought of or heard to it? What is the size of our soul? Okay, our size of the soul, if you take our hair, okay, the tip of the hair, and cut it by 10,000 pieces. Imagine, you take a tip of the hair and cut that to 10,000 pieces. That's the size of the soul. So a soul is like, I would say, in one way, the SIM card for the mobile. Or maybe internet for the laptop, or the SIM card for the mobile is a more better. Without the SIM card, is the mobile going to be useful? No, right? So it is something like that. So unless otherwise the soul is in this body is going to be of no use. And when the soul departs, the body becomes useless. Right? So what is this body made up of? The Panchabhuta. Earth, fire, water, sky, and air. What is the soul made up of? We haven't cracked that yet, right? And what does soul have in it? It has Paramatma. It has the Lord himself inside. Okay? If you people agree to it? Has anyone told us what is the soul made up of? So far, science has gone to a large extent. No, right? What activates the body? Nobody tells us, right? The science is not able to explain it. So, the soul is the Lord Himself. Okay, now he is answering the second next part of the question. You should understand that I am also the knower of all bodies, and to understand this, the body is the knower. Understand this body, and its knower is called knowledge. That is my opinion. So he says, what is knowledge? Is complete soul Paramatma? No, the complete soul is not Paramatma. Paramatma is only a part of the soul. Okay? The soul is the soul is something that is going to be part of the body, and the soul is traveling from one body to the next body to the next body. But Paramatma is always inside it. Soul and spirit is the same? Yes. Soul and spirit is the same. It's only the different ways they call it. Paramatma is a part of soul, and Paramatma knows whatever the soul is doing. So that's why when the Lord says, I am in everybody, He is, as Paramatma is there in every soul, every living being. Okay. You should understand that I am also, you should understand that I am also the knower of all bodies, and to understand this, the body is the knower, is called knowledge. So now he is answering the question of knowledge. He says, to understand that I am the knower of all bodies, to understand Krishna is there in all bodies, and He knows all the bodies, is the knowledge. Okay. He is gaining constant information and knowledge about everybody. Okay. So what are the 5 koshas? So what are the different states of mind that you will be, different kind of people who will be? So we are all in this. One is people who are looking for food. These are monkeys and animals. So dogs are always looking at what? You're always looking at food, right? How do you call a dog? You just say you're giving it some food and the dog will come nearby. How do you call a monkey? You just give it some food and it's going to come. If you go to give some toy to monkey, what is it going to do? It's going to try to bite it, and it might not be happy with that. It is not a food and it will just throw away, right? Pranamaya, people who are living only for breathing and then things, and then like energy, entertainment, only this, that is pranamaya. One is people only living for food, the other one is people only living for the next level. From food, they just go to energy and entertainment and things. Third is manomaya, for the mind, for the satisfaction of the mind. So these are people who are in lot of lust, and then like they are into completely attached to the material world. We see kind of people, right? This becomes human here. Manomaya. Then Vijnanamaya. They live only out of intuition, looking at other things. So that is the intuition. And people who go into the intuition is also nice. People are still attached to the Lord. Okay, they're not completely surrendered, but they're attached to the Lord. They want to do something better. They want to serve and things. The fourth one is the Anandamaya, the bliss. People are completely devoted to Lord. Okay, they enjoy serving the Lord a lot. We are all in the Vijnanamaya and we want to go to this Anandamaya, right? How to progress? God, I will come to that in this chapter itself. Okay. 5 great elements: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, the 10 senses, the mind, the 5 sense objects, desire, hatred, happiness, distress, the aggregate, the life symptoms, the convictions, and all these are considered in summary to be the field of activities in this interactions. Okay, so what do you see in this image? Can anybody tell me the 5 senses? I see only one person replying. Mayank Prabhuji, can you others also chat? Thank you. Thank you. I wanted to see that everybody is connected. Yeah, that's right. What you say is right. So eyes, nose, ears, touch and feel, and tongue. Right? These are the five senses. Now, what are these five senses represented in this image as? They are represented as the five horses. And who's controlling? That's what the Lord says. The five great limits: false ego, intelligence, the unmanifested, and the ten senses, the mind, and the five sense objects: desire, hatred, happiness, distress, and aggregate, the life symptoms and convictions. All these are considered in summary to be the field of activities and its interaction. So Arjuna asked what question? What is the field and who is the knower of the field, right? Now Lord says the five senses, okay, the controller of it, the mind. Who is sitting on the chariot? The soul, okay? And what is the rein? That is the intelligence. The intelligence is always there, but how do you take it? How do you use your intelligence to control the senses is what your mind is going to do, right? So this is the field. Is it clear? This is the field that the Lord says. There is intelligence all over, and you have to control your five senses with your mind. And if you do that, your soul is on the right path, right? The soul is behind, the mind is the one who is riding it. The five senses are the horses, and the intelligence is all over. Okay, so this is humility, just a table of how we can progress. On humility, not to be anxious and have satisfaction and being honored. So we'll have to have the humility, the quality of humility. So what needs to be done? Not to be anxious and have a satisfaction of being honored. So we should be happy with whatever we have. We should have the feeling of having honored, right? How many of you have this feeling in life? Like, okay, whatever is there, yes, I'm honored to have it. It is not we don't say it is my right to have it. We say we are honored to have it. We feel that, right? Okay. Pridelessness, understanding that you are not the body and thus the honor and dishonor are the same. Honor and dishonor is like, you're not the body. If you understand that you're not the body and you're the soul, whatever honor and dishonor this body gets, it's not something, right? This birth, you are probably a very powerful person, a political guy, a very rich person, can be anything. Can you assure that you will get something like the same for the next janma? Or can you carry forward this for the next birth? No, right? So that is why pridelessness, understanding you are not the body, and thus honor and dishonor are the same. Non-violence, unless one elevates people to spiritual knowledge, one is practicing violence. So what is non-violence? Is not fighting and not shouting is a non-violence? No. Not hurting others is non-violence? No. Unless one elevates people to spiritual knowledge, unless you get yourself into the spiritual world, you're not practicing non-violence. Tolerance, the practice to bear insult and dishonor from others. When you're speaking the right things, obviously people are going to insult you, right? Obviously people are going to dishonor you. It's hard for people to take it. But what do? You be tolerant in it. Yeah, I'll do that. I'll definitely do that. I'll put this in the WhatsApp group. Simplicity. So straightforward that you can disclose the truth even to the enemy. That's the straightforwardness that you should have. Accepting a spiritual master. This is essential. You should have a right spiritual master. And for all of us, we have already accepted Srila Prabhupada to be the spiritual master, and we have Guru Maharaj, Jayapataka Prabhuji coming through him, who is a direct disciple of Srila Prabhupada, who we consider as our Guru Maharaj, and who is our immediate Guru? It is Prabhu Sri Namanista Das Prabhuji. Okay. Right. Cleanliness, bathing, chanting. Internal cleanliness, we do chanting. External cleanliness, we do bathing. Steadiness, determined to make progress in spiritual life. Self-control, reject anything unfavorable to spiritual advancement. Control the senses, renunciation of sense objects. Not to cater to unnecessary demands, gratified only to keep body fit for this. Okay. Absence of false ego. Reject I am the body or mind. Accept that I am Krishna's servant. So one is that you need to reject that I am the body and I am the mind or the mind. No. Reject that. That's not. You just say I am the servant of Krishna. My body, mind, everything is going to serve Krishna. Perception of evil. Regularly hear about these from the proper source. Become disgusted with material life. Just give up material life. And focus on the proper source. Detachment. Be ready for sacrifice. To sacrifice everything for Krishna. No entanglement with wife, children, family, material world. Should practice it. If you cannot do it in a KC way, but renounce in favor of. So KC is, what is KC? Krishna consciousness. Okay. Should practice it if you cannot do it in a Krishna conscious way, but renounce it in favor of unfavorable for Krishna consciousness. So you live with your family and make them also Krishna conscious. They should not object. Okay, that's always there, and they will not. That Krishna will take care of. Okay. Even mindlessness, not elated or distressed. Material gain or loss. Be performing unbreakable devotional service. Unloyal devotional service. Engaging oneself in the 9 processes of bhakti. Aspiring to live in a solitary place. Not desiring to mix with material people. Live in the association of devotees. Detachment from general mass of the people. Accepting the importance of self-realization. Give up unnecessary sporting, cinema going, non-devotional social activities, avoid wasting time. So these are all, entertainment is always required, but then give up that as an attachment. Okay. Today, if there is a new movie coming, and if you are not able to see it today or in the next 3 days, then you start developing lust towards it. No, just give up that. Okay. You can always say, when I'm free, when I have time, I can always go do it. But I don't want to do it immediately. Just because my peers and my friends have gone and seen this movie, I don't want to go and do it immediately. So that's what the Lord says. Philosophical search. Rejection of useless research and philosophical topics. There are a lot of people who are just talking about philosophy, right? Reject them. You have Lord himself talking about philosophy, giving complete detail about philosophy. So this becomes the right source. Okay. Consciousness of knife and in the robber's hand. So you have 2 people with knife. One is the knife in the robber's hand. The other one is the knife in the surgeon's hand. Whom are you going to trust? Whom are you going to trust? There's a knife in the robber's hand and there's a knife in the doctor's hand. Why the doctor? Why the knife in the doctor's hand? What is the intent of having knife in the thief's hand and the doctor's hand. Both of them you want to hurt you, right? Both of them are going to know that they're going to hurt you. Yes, that's right. It's a good intention. The robber's intention is to hurt you and take away things in the wrong side or wrong direction. Take away your property or things. But in the doctor's hand, when the knife is there, it is to hurt you to protect you, right? They have the knife to protect you. So that's the perception, consciousness. Humility, pridelessness, non-violence, tolerance, simplicity, approaching a bona fide spiritual master, cleanliness, steadiness, self-control, renunciation of objects of senses, of sense gratification, absence of false ego, the perception of evil birth, death, old age and disease, detachment from freedom, from entanglement with children, wife, home, and the rest, even mindlessness, amid unpleasant and pleasant events, constant and unloyal devotion formed to me, aspiring to live in the solitary place, detachment from the material, from the general mass of people, accepting the importance of self-realization, the philosophical search of the absolute. Then all these I declare to be the knowledge. Beside this, whatever may be, there may be is ignorance. So what is now Krishna answering? The word knowledge, right? What were the 6 questions we saw? What is the field? Who is the knower of the field? What is knowledge? Who is the knower of the knowledge? And what is body? Who is the knower of the body? So now what all Krishna has answered? What is mind? And who is the knower of the mind? Mind is the controller of the senses. Who is the knower of the mind? Lord said, I am the knower of the mind. He controls the mind. Okay. Who is the knower? What is knowledge? All that we saw in this slide and the previous 2 slides. This is knowledge. Who is the knower of the knowledge? The person who can control this. And who is the controller of this? The Lord himself. What is the field? Field is the world around we saw, right? Intelligence and things. Okay. Who's the knower of the field? Again, Lord. Okay. The super soul is the original source of all senses, and he is without senses. He is unattached. Although he is the maintainer of all living beings, he transcends the mode of nature, and at the same time, he is the master of all modes of material nature. So he says, the original source, the super soul is the original source of all senses. All senses are from the source of the Lord himself. And he is not attached to these senses. He is not having these senses. He is without senses. He is unattached. He can hear, he can see, he can feel, he can do everything, but he is not attached to these senses. He transcends the mode of nature, and at the same time he is the master of all modes of material nature. Thus the field of activities, knowledge and the knowable have been summarily described by me. Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly and thus attain my nature. So now what does Lord say? So now he has explained knowledge and the knower of the knowledge. Who can understand this? Only his devotees. Now you people understood it? Did you understand this? Whose knowledge and who's the knower of knowledge? People understood it? Someone can type on the chat box. Yes, right. If you have understood, what is it? What does the Lord say? Only my devotees can understand this thoroughly. And if you have understood, you are already a devotee. And what are the 4 defects we have in life? How many of you can tell me the 4 defects in life that we have? Why are we body? What are the 4 defects that we have? Anybody can type or anybody can unmute and tell me? No? Okay. So we have these are the 4 defects that we have. Do we not commit mistakes? We saw this in the chapter 2. We have the intention of committing mistakes. We do mistakes, right? And is invariably, we are illusioned. We saw an image wherein it was still steady. So just an image, but we assumed it to be moving. We have a tendency to cheat others. Our knowledge is limited and we have imperfect senses. These are defects that we have. People agree? If you agree to the 4 defects, just type 4. We have these 4 defects, right? Just type 4 on the chat if you agree to it. Yeah. Yeah, that's right. No? There's only one person who's probably agrees to the 4 defects. Okay, there are a few more. Okay. Atma and Paramatma. So what is Atma? Is the soul. Paramatma is the within the soul, is the part within the soul. Right? And he is in every living being. Every living, be it birds, be it ant, be it humans, he is in every living animal, living thing in this world. Material nature and the living entity should be understood to be beginningless. Material nature and the living entity should be understood to be beginningless. Their transformation and mode of matter are product of material nature. So that's what Lord says. So like you can go through different modes of life. So this is again science being explained here. So you can see the image wherein you have gone through different lives, and from the monkey now he has become human. So what is the Lord saying? Okay, science says we are all come from human beings. Lord says, okay, you all come from human beings because you've gone through the cycle of life, birth and death. And before this body, you were normally given the body of the monkeys so that you can serve the Lord. And in Ramayana, who served the Lord the most? Who served the Lord the most? Hanuman, right? Whole Vanar Sena, right? So maybe we were all part of that Vanar Sena, and the Lord decided, okay, now we give them a complete opportunity to serve me as human beings. And since then, we are probably going through this birth and death of life cycle in the human nature. And today we are here and we are still listening to, at least we have not started listening and talking about Krishna. Maybe we didn't do this before. So Krishna has been giving us this opportunity in the material body to worship the Lord and serve the Lord. And after this life, maybe we get moksha also, right? Or maybe we have some more lives. So what can we do in this life to, so now, okay, that's an example coming up, so I'll take it up there. Right. Nature is said to be the cause of all material causes and effects, whereas the living entity is cause of various sufferings and enjoyment in this world. So what is nature? Nature is said to be the cause of all the material causes and effects. So whatever you see in the material world, the cause and effect is because of nature. The living entity is the cause of various sufferings and the enjoyment in this world. The living entities, the living entities as humans are the cause of various sufferings and enjoyments. Right, no? Very beautifully said, right? We are all the cause of, we are the ones who create these sufferings and we are the ones who enjoy the success of it also. Is it something that Lord is going to enjoy here? He's already viewing everything, right? What happens? You say you don't find a job. Why is it? It is because of your actions that you are not. You didn't study well. We didn't prepare well for the interview. We did not present ourselves confidently during the interview. Happens, no? When we are doing that, what is that? We are causing that problem. And the living entity is the cause of, we are the cause of the various sufferings that come out of it, right? We are the cause of all sufferings and enjoyments. Okay, now what all do you see in this image? I want you people to unmute and talk or chat immediately. So what all do you see in these image? This is a very beautiful image. What all do you see? Come on, I want you people to type on the chat box or unmute and tell me. This one image will summarize the whole chapter. Come on, please. People who are you able to see the image, and please can you type? So you see a person hanging from a branch of a tree. Yeah, I want you to describe it. Not describe it, just say what all you see. See, like you see a person hanging from the branch. What else do you see? You see an elephant trying to uproot the whole tree. So if you can just say what all do you see? You see a man. The man is hanging on the branch. Then you see an elephant. The elephant is trying to uproot the whole tree. What else do you see? That's something that we will come to. Sudeshna Mataji will come to that. You see some snakes at the bottom? Right? You see some snakes in the bottom? Rats trying to break the stem. Yeah, the rats are again trying to break the stem. That's right. And you see some dots around the person. There is a honeybees which are trying to drop him down, which are going to bite him. And if he takes that bite and if he takes that pain, he will get dropped into the pond with full of snakes, poisonous snakes. And what is this person doing? What is this person doing? Yes. He's trying to drink the honey, right? Now, is this not the way our life is? Just look at the way we are in this world now. We are in the middle of a COVID pandemic, okay? And we are all having different kinds of problems. We're not able to go out. If we go out, people can get infected. The medication is not very clear whether it is going to work or not. We don't know. Everybody has taken the vaccines, but we don't know whether the vaccines are working or not. Okay. The colleges are not open. The companies have not opened. We don't know whether things are going in the right direction in the organizations. What we see is only the emails and the talks or the meetings that is happening. But in all that, what are we trying to still enjoy? Material benefits. We say we are working from home and enjoying the taste of honey, right? But what is that the way it has to be? We are all attached to some small thing in this world, small and size. It's like this honey that is coming out, right? It is nothing. You have so many problems around you. But you're enjoying the honey. That's a very small thing. But if you surrender to the Lord, who can fix everything? The Lord, right? So don't look at small, chota results. You should focus on the big picture. Is that not right? Does this image not, what is honey? The material enjoyment? Exactly. Honey is the material enjoyment. So who's, if you say, who's going to be very happy? The person who's a sadhu or the monks that you see in ISKCON, or the person with a lot of money, who's going to be happy? Who do you think is very happy? Monks, right? So everybody's typing monks. That's right, huh? Why? Because he's given up his material attachments. So what is a monk thinking? Tomorrow, how do you serve the Lord better? So that is what he is thinking. His intention is very simple. He wants to serve the Lord more better. But what is the person who's got a lot of money thinking? How do I earn more money? And how do I make sure that I protect my whatever assets I have? What if the competition company comes up with a better product? What if some person in the company moves from this company to another company and takes over the knowledge from here? What if the government changes their tax regulations and I have to pay huge taxes? All that goes in his mind, no? But does a sadhu or a monk have to think about anything of this? No, he says, okay, if I have 5 rupees, I'll serve that 5. With 5 rupees, I'll serve the Lord. If I have 100 rupees, I'll serve the Lord with 100 rupees worth of items. If I have nothing, I'll serve the Lord with only prayers and chanting. Right, no? Who is happy here? The sadhu, the monk is happy with anything that he has. He's got nothing, he's going to only chant in front of the Lord. He's got 100 rupees, he'll make prasads for the Lord. He's got 1,000 rupees, he'll do abhishekam and prasad for the Lord. Right, no? What is it that all he's doing? He's only serving the Lord. He's not bothered about the rest of the whole things. Whatever he has, he gives it to the Lord. Can we do something like that? Is our mind, as of now, as on state today, tuned for it? Absolutely not, right? We all want our material desires to be fulfilled, and kuch bacha hoga to we'll give it to Lord. Right? That's the difference. Thank you. Janma mrityu jara vyadhi dukkha dushanad harshanam. So they say like this earth, the Prabhupada described as Dukkhalaya. Because why? Because this is a place where there is birth, death, old age, disease are real problems of human life. You're born to go through life. Everybody who's born has to die. And what happens during this duration? You have old age or diseases, right? This is all we are all going to go through this. And the best way to get out of it is get moksha. How do you do it? Follow and go to the Lord. Surrender to the Lord. Nobody wants problems. Nobody can avoid problems. Can you do it? Do you need problems in life? No, right? Can you avoid the problems? No. It comes on its own. Similarly, happiness will also come on its own. When happiness comes, you don't say, I created happiness. No, the Lord wanted to give you happiness. When problems come, you always say, I created the problems. So the problems are also something that you cannot avoid. Happiness is also something you cannot avoid. You can only be, what can you do? You can be prepared for it. Right? How do you be prepared for it? Have a stable mind. Don't react to both of them in a very aggravated. Like don't get excited about both of them. Real problems are birth, death, old age, and diseases. Temporary problems are food, shelter, and clothing. right? Food, shelter of clothing, people who did not have 5 years, 10 years down the line today are one of the richest people in the country, right? So how? Because they did not focus on the temporary problem. They focused on the long-term problem. They were not working for the results. They were working for the Lord. The living entity is material nature, thus follows the ways of life, enjoys the three modes of nature. This is due to his association with the material nature. Thus, he meets the good and evil among various species. The living entity in material nature thus follows the ways of life. He just goes the ways of life, enjoys the three modes of nature. Okay. Then, due to this association with the material nature, thus he meets the good and evil among various species. So he goes through all the species. Now, if you instead of enjoying the three modes of nature, you go to the Lord himself. You enjoy the service to the Lord. What happens? You start going towards the Lord. You start your spiritual journey and you're free from this material modes of nature. Material modes of nature, we will look at it tomorrow in detail. The Rajaguna, the Sattva-guna, Tamaguna and Rajaguna. Rajaguna and Tamaguna. Sattva-guna, Rajaguna and Tamaguna. We will have a detailed discussion about it tomorrow. Yet in this body there is another, a transcendental enjoyer. Who is this? Who is the Lord, the supreme proprietor, who exists and oversees the permitter, and who is known as the super soul. Right? He is the one who is there in every body. Some perceive the super soul with themselves through meditation, others through cultivation of knowledge, and still others to working without fruitive desires. So what is the best way? If you meditate, you can still realize Lord. How long do you take? You take many births. The second one is through cultivation of knowledge, reading Veda, reading other things, reading the Upanishads and all that. How long you take? You again take many births. How to quickly realize it? Surrender to the Lord without fruitive desires. Again, there are those who, although not conversant in spiritual knowledge, begin to worship the Supreme Person upon hearing about him from others. Because of their tendency to hear from other authorities, they also transcend the path of birth and death. Lord says, if you cannot chant, if you cannot hear, still serve the Lord completely. At least hear from the Lord. Right? Here we see Chaitanya Mahaprabhu giving knowledge to many people, giving knowledge to a lady. And then what happened? Just because she is ready to hear, she is also liberated from the transcendental path of birth and death. One who can see that all activities are performed by the body, which is created of material nature, and sees itself, the self does nothing, actually sees. So what do we see today? We see that everything that we have created, we are working on it. And if we see it that way, we don't see the Lord. We're not seeing the right way. Now, who sees all activities are performed by the body, which is created by material nature, and sees that the self does nothing. You are doing nothing on it. It is the Lord who is making you do everything. And when you understand that, you actually see. Right? So you can see this image. We saw talk of autonomous vehicles and other things, right? So you can see who is the driver of the body? The soul. What is on the brain? It is in memory chips, processors and things, right? That is the mind. So what is the camera doing? It is seeing everything. And you see the engine at the bottom, which gives the energy. That is nothing but the stomach and the other body parts. Right? It's a nice representation. People like this, especially who are engineers. Right now. O son of Bharata, as the sun alone illuminates all these universe, all this universe, so does the living entity. So one with the body illuminate the entire body by consciousness. So how can you illuminate the whole body? Realize the super soul inside your body. Illuminate the entire body by consciousness. By becoming Krishna conscious, you will become elevated in this world. Those who see the eyes of knowledge, those who see with eyes of knowledge the difference between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage and material nature, attain to the supreme goal. Right? Those who see the eyes of knowledge, through knowledge, if we see the difference between the body and the knower of the body. Who's the body? What is the body that we saw? The one who is attached to the ego. Body is nothing but the made of Panchaputa, right? It is the body. And who is the knower of the body? The Lord. One who can differentiate between the body and the knower of the body, and can also understand the process of liberation from bondage of material nature, attain the supreme goal. So that's what he says. If you understand who's the body and the knower of the body, body is what we are. It's only something that is going to stay in this earth forever. And the knower of the body is the Lord. Once you understand that, and you can separate them out, and you get yourself liberated from the bondage of material nature, you can attain the supreme goal. Let us live the same life. Nothing wrong. We can always live the same life. Just change your boss. And who's to be the right boss? Krishna. Is it not very easy? We still live the same life. Only say everything is for Krishna. We just change the boss. And we say Krishna is our boss anymore. That's a solution to all problems. Chant the Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So we are at the end of this classes. In the Kali Yuga, the only means of deliverance is chanting the holy name of the Lord. There is no other way. There is no other way. There is no other way. Hare Nama, Kevalam. All glory to Sri Krishna Kirtana, which cleanses the heart of all the dust accumulated for years and extinguishes the fire of conditional birth, of repeated birth and death. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.